Recently, the New York Times issued their favorite nutritional takeaways for 2024. Are they valid? Let's find out. The first tip they issued, a Mediterranean diet, it may be worth a try. Well, that's great if you could define what the Mediterranean diet is. It's been compared to the zone diet under highly controlled conditions. And what did the researchers find? The Mediterranean diet was inferior to the zone diet in terms of blood sugar control. And controlling blood sugar is one of the key factors to living longer and living better. Question number 2 they had, a glass of red wine may not keep the doctor away. Partially true. It's true the alcohol in red wine or any alcoholic beverage is not good for you. But red wine does contain something else besides alcohol. They're called polyphenols, and polyphenols which give it a red color. It turns out those polyphenols can be concentrated to very high levels. In a single capsule, that's equivalent to drinking 40 glasses of red wine. So don't drink the red wine, but drink the red polyphenols. Another point or takeaway is say avocados are really good for you. Not so quick. Okay, avocados, they have monounsaturated fat. That's good. They're green, which means they have polyphenols. That's good. But they have no protein. So again, just eating avocados is not a healthy way to go. Eating a small amount of avocados is not a bad choice, but a better choice is using extra virgin olive oil. Their fourth tip, don't follow the myth that you should delay your morning caffeine. Well, what in the heck are you having caffeine in the morning for the first place? Because you're groggy. And the reason you're groggy, because you're not getting good quality sleep. If you're getting good quality sleep because you're eating basically a balanced diet, there's no need for caffeine in the morning to wake you up. Another point they made is Americans love shrimp, but be careful where it comes from. That's true. Most shrimp comes from places you would never want to basically even ask where it came from because the sanitary conditions are not very good, especially for farmed shrimp. So shrimp's a great source of protein, but there are other sources of protein which are far better. A better one would be salmon. Another one of their tips is you'll probably benefit from cutting back on sodium. Well, true, but you're probably better off increasing potassium. It's the ratio of potassium to sodium that's key. Where do you find potassium? Non-starchy vegetables. Yeah, and cut back the sodium in processed foods. It makes the ratio balance easier. Another aspect is saying apple cider isn't a cure-all, but it may have some surprising benefits. This could be true. It turns out that apple cider does have a very indirect impact on AMPK. This is the master regulator of metabolism. Another takeaway point from the New York Times article is in treating irritable bowel syndrome, your diet may be just as important as medication. Here I agree 100% with the New York Times. Because when you're basically talking about IBS or irritable bowel syndrome, you're talking about inflammation at the gut wall. And basically your diet will have a far better impact on that, controlling that inflammation than any drug medication. Another of their takeaway lessons, you don't have to chug a gallon of water to stay hydrated. There I agree with them again. Now, how much water do you need? Well, every time you go to the restroom, you'll find out. You want to make sure your urine is a very pale yellow color. The darker the yellow, the more dehydrated you are. So can you take too much water? Of course you can. So again, it's a matter of balance. And the final thing from the New York Times, the evidence against ultra-processed foods is mounting. Not so quick, the New York Times. There was a recent article in Diabetes Care that said several ultra-processed foods, like Greek yogurt, is great for reducing the likelihood of diabetes. Okay, yes, ultra-processed foods like breakfast cereals, they're not good for you. They're convenient, but they're not good. But some ultra-processed foods, such as Greek yogurt, is exceptionally good for reducing diabetes. So on the whole, the New York Times has some interesting types. Most are either not quite right or just dead wrong. But again, what you want to do is basically use your common sense. Use your common sense how to basically balance your diet.